Hi everybody, welcome back to Ghost Spirits Legends and Beyond. I'm your host Taylor.
And I'm Jessica.
And today we're going to sit down and talk about the first half of Season 1, about the places that we went,
What we saw,
and why we went.
what led us there, all that good stuff, legends that we heard, what other people's experience that we heard.
Yep.
We did try to get the rest of the team here, it just didn't work out that way.
Unfortunately, life happens and
It's just going to be the two of us today.
not everybody could be present at this time. So here we are, just us two.
Just us. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up this live stream on my phone so that way if there's any comments we can see.
Yes, because our camera is stationed a little further away from us, and as you can see, we both have glasses, so we do have trouble reading from far away. But I can try to see what we got. It's sideways, so pardon me.
It's sideways here too.
No, I'm talking about the comments.
Oh,
The comments are sideways on here. The comments are not sideways there.
yeah. Okay, I'll just leave my phone.
All right,
So we're going to start talking about Magnolia. So Magnolia was one that I was originally going to do with somebody else, and then we ended up going to start the kickoff of this new channel.
Yeah.
So we went because we heard it was beautiful and it was big and it was haunted. Now in that one we got a couple of questionable pictures that the audience pointed out, but I personally didn't see anything.
Yes, I did. I saw that they had commented saying they thought they saw something on it. Unfortunately, with that one, we weren't able to go in at night because they have rules about can't be out past a certain time.
Yeah, so we didn't really get to do everything we wanted to do with that cemetery. So that it is like a 35-40 minute episode, but it's really just looking at the mausoleums, which were beautiful.
Yes,
They were
there's so many beautiful mausoleums. And unfortunately, some of them have seen better days and have broken glass and stuff like that.
Which could have been from vandals. It could have been from the weather, though. We didn't really know why.
Yeah, because in this area, the weather is very questionable all day, every day. You never know what it's going to be.
So Magnolia was just one that I wanted to do for a different reason, and then ended up doing it for this one. And it was the kickoff of Ghost Spirits Legends and Beyond. So.
And at the time, I actually wasn't the host. I just happened to be
tagging along
because she needed somebody to go with.
Well, and you actually became a host 2 to 3 episodes in.
Yes.
Because I was just like, you're here anyway. Just do it.
Might as well play a bigger part, right?
Yeah. Because I'm a chicken. I'm not going to go by myself. And my husband's not going to go just meet him. He's not going to do that. He's going to go if there's a group of people, which we'll talk about in another episode when we talk about another episode. But yeah, Magnolia was really just it's a beautiful cemetery worth going to. The mausoleums are fantastic to look at. The statues there are really beautiful. It's just
there's several beautiful headstones. It's just
yes.
a very beautiful cemetery. It's just the size of it though, we would never be able to cover it in just 1 or 2.
No, we were actually supposed to. And we say this in the episode that we were going to go back, and then we forgot to do it because we got caught up trying to make the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So it does say in the video that we would be going back and to be looking for the video, but we have yet to do that.
So that brings us up to a new topic, real quick. Since we're talking about possibly going back, we are happy to announce that season 2 is in the making.
Yes. We officially started it. I'm so excited.
We're still trying to figure out where all we want to go. So if y'all have any ideas of places in the southeast area of Texas or
Louisiana,
or the Louisiana area, we are definitely open to hearing about it.
Now, don't get me wrong. We wish we could go further, but we're just not ready for that yet. We're not saying we won't be, but for right now, we're sticking to the Texas.
At the moment, we're keeping to closer by areas.
It's expensive to travel.
It really is. Even on a bargain.
Well, and we did travel for season 1 to a farther place, but we're not talking about that one in this live stream. That's
So I'm
gonna
coming
be
to that one. So,
I know what this happened. I don't know how to work this. I can't see. Can you see? Yeah, I don't know if there's comments or just people doing
it's not telling me what they are. So, let's just lean a little closer.
it. Yeah, just that's what we're gonna have to do because they ain't working on my phone. It's not showing me. Hello. Hello. She's trying to reach that.
I am. How are y'all? We're pretty good this morning.
Yeah, I know it's a bit early, but
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get the most sleep either, but
no, because again, we're doing season 2.
we were.
So,
But, the drag. But
oh, I was also going to mention that in Magnolia Cemetery, I managed to almost fall 4 times, and I say it each time on camera too. Oh, I almost fell.
one thing about our lovely little hostess over here, Jessica, she is one of the most clumsiest people I know. She really is. But I mean, I am too.
Yeah, but I still managed to have the beat, which is
But I managed to stay on my 2 feet in all episodes.
yeah. No, well, I mean, you had that little sniff in Big Woods where you almost fell, but I actually ended up on my butt. So
We'll come back to that one.
yeah,
We'll come back.
that when we talk about Big Woods, we'll talk about that. That was really fun. Yes, I am prone to falling. We also established in Magnolia Cemetery. What?
Me too. Are you clumsy too? Is that what you're referring
Yes,
to?
yes, I'm more clumsy than her, but we are clumsy.
Yeah, we're both clumsy.
So, yes, we both established that we fall a lot, but I fall more, and for some reason mine are more comical because I look like a cartoon
because you're
character.
because you're like ah, you make it dramatic when you fall, so I just.
No, because I get scared. I think I'm gonna like hurt something. And
You actually really don't fall gracefully.
I'm also the one who walks into pools. I mean, that all through. We went to high school. Actually, I should refrain from high school. It was further back than that. We went to middle school together. We've known each other for a very long time. And I was the girl who walked into glass doors and pole lockers. And then fell.
Several
Dramatically.
Several times.
Just kind of looked up and she was like, ow.
Like,
oops. She just, after a while, she stopped helping me. She's just like, it's going to happen tomorrow.
I mean, gotta figure out daily on those. It's not every other day.
We also established in Magnolia that I am deadly afraid of spiders. And
Boy, is she.
oh, I do not do critters with 8 legs
Or no legs.
I say that. I don't do either one. It makes me nervous talking. I'll start fiddling. And then she doesn't do roaches.
I don't.
Which makes no sense.
The word itself just makes me like cringe.
But that's the thing that gets me is spiders bite. Spiders are poisonous and can kill. Roaches are not.
I don't care. They're vile creatures.
She just, especially the ones that fly. Do you see one fly at her?
I'm gone. I'm gone.
Oh. All right. Next is
next up?
Martha Chapel Cemetery.
Oh, that one was a fun one.
We brought my husband with that one.
So,
What just happened?
invitation.
I don't know that person.
I don't either.
No offense, but
So,
we were very nervous to do this to begin with.
right? We're going to try to keep our nerves down a little bit because this is only our second time going live
Yes.
on TikTok.
Once we get more comfortable with it, we may accept invitations
Yeah,
to go live with
definitely.
people, and let you in on it. It's just right now we're newbies to this, so we're a little.
We're still a little nervous. Oh, thank you for the hearts.
Yes, thank you.
So Martha Chapel is also known as Demon Road. It is said to be very haunted, that there's legends of people seeing like hands come out of the ground and grab their legs and stuff like that. So of course, we're gonna go check it out. Well, so me and my fiance decided, you know what, we're gonna take a ghost trip because it's a good drive from where we live. So I messaged Jess and was like, hey, you want to go on a ghost adventure? And she's like, yeah, sure. Where are we going?
They wouldn't tell me.
I wouldn't tell her because if I told her, she'd be like, she'd put two and two together and be like, oh, this is where we're going.
And I've already said I wasn't doing anything with the word demon in it, and yet she was just like, it's fine.
Technically, the cemetery's name is Martha Chapel. So on the way up there, we were sitting in the car, we were driving. It was already late at night when we started.
Yeah, we didn't get
this
any day
journey.
footage of that, which is why we eventually do want to do it.
So we get in the car, we're driving, and then I started laughing. And
Well, because Cody made a comment. He was like, I don't do cemeteries at night. I don't go sit in cemeteries, because we brought him with us. I talked him into going.
And this was his first
outing with us.
outing to join. So at the time, it was like, okay, he has no idea what we're doing.
And he literally makes the comment in the, I left it in the episode and everything. He's like, I don't do cemeteries. And then she starts laughing.
So of course, that gives it away as to what we're doing. So I eventually tell him that's where we're heading. When we got there, it was really dark.
Jeannie got stuck. Well, almost got stuck. Yeah, she actually, like, I left it in the video because it was really funny because she's kind of panicking. Because she's fine until she thinks she's going to get stuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were in my car, which is not meant for off-roading, and Jeannie was starting to go off-roading, and I'm like, get back on the road. I didn't use those words. I used a lot more
colorful
language.
Yeah.
But for purposes right now, we're just gonna say I told her to get back on the road.
And just yelled at her. She was like,
I was definitely yelling. I wasn't talking quietly. There was also a chute.
Yes, there was a chute.
Road, which that alone was like, why is there a chute?
Well, and then they decided they were going to tell Cody that everything's fine as long as you hear the bugs. Well, for some reason, if he stopped hearing the bugs and you hear a note of panic in his voice, he starts, I heard bugs. So that one was just funny. Now, did we catch anything? No, but that's really because it was early in the season. We didn't have the good
We didn't
cameras.
have, actually the video was filmed on her phone. So it was, we had a couple of flashlights and she had the flashlight on her phone. So, I mean, we definitely didn't have all the equipment that we have actually now.
We didn't have the spirit talker.
We didn't have a spirit talker. We didn't have the good cameras. We actually have 2 cameras now.
And microphones for season 2.
Yes,
we got some complaints in season 1 that you couldn't hear us on the cameras.
Yes. So now we're still trying to figure out. We're still trying to work with them. So the first season, the first episode on season 2 still might be a little. As we're still trying to figure out.
Because we stuck them right here, and they work.
And they're
really well.
They're a lot more sensitive than we were expecting. So we had to kind of redo them. We're gonna see how that goes. But anyway, we're squirreling. Back to Martha Chapel.
We didn't catch anything, not even pictures, but
we didn't even have a camera.
No,
we didn't bring a camera that day. But that cemetery is very old, and it's not.
Well, there was a lot of interesting stuff out there to see.
Yes.
Like we found, we stumbled upon a whole bunch of graves with torn up toys, and we were just like, we're gonna go that way because we don't mess with babies. And
I mean, another thing is, certain things cling to childlike items. And those can be negative things, so we're not going to disturb
Yeah, so we walked
anything like that. So we hurriedly walked away. But another thing we noticed in that cemetery was coins on all the headstones that
almost every single
that we
one
had came across.
had pennies and quarters and stuff, and we didn't at the time we didn't know what it meant. Like we
Yes.
were
we were
confused.
We were very confused. We were wondering why is it coins and why are they on all of them?
We looked into it,
and it was saying several different things. Some said it was a sign of respect. Some said. So I looked it up a couple of times. I got different answers each time, so it's hard to say
what
it actually
was.
But if y'all know what it means, feel free to please tell us because we would love to.
Yeah, because it was all different
understand
kinds of
more.
coins. Like
pennies,
dimes,
quarters. I mean, it was different for each one. Like one of them could have 5 pennies, while the next one has a quarter and a penny, or different for each one. Unfortunately, a lot of the headstones were also broken, which was very sad to see.
But also not surprising because you had what looked like you had an old section of it, and then you had a newer section. But the older section was definitely like crumbling, and some of them were literally held on with like sticks and duct tape.
Someone had came up to it and put a wooden post behind it and duct taped it around to hold it in place. We saw a few of those.
Yeah, so I mean, it was still a good one to do. Like,
yes,
but we've already established that we don't know when we're going to go back, but we have established that we're probably going to go back with our EVPs and our Spirit Talker and the better cameras.
Yes.
With the night vision, because the camera we had we're using didn't have night vision, so you can't really see anything.
Yeah.
So we want to redo it.
And we also want to get there during the daytime as well, so we can get some daylight footage. That way, everybody can see the different headstones and the surrounding areas and stuff like that.
Oh, and I want to figure out which one's the oldest, so we can show all the oldest. Because I like to do that. I like to see the first one buried. Even on some cemeteries, that's almost impossible because you have. We'll talk about Old City Cemetery where they were buried on top of each other.
Yes. So there's like a whole story behind that as to why that's the way it is.
Yeah. The next one we did was a very popular one in this area that I've been going to since I was a kid. Bragg Road in Saratoga, Texas.
Yes.
Now, I've heard of other people's experience, and I've had experiences with other people, not on this channel, but with a different person. And I wanted to take them because your fiance has also had experiences.
A lot of experiences.
And a lot of people, they have commented on there that we didn't get out, but it was so hard to get out because we had gone when it was kind of rainy and it was muddy and nasty and you couldn't really walk.
And unfortunately, it's become more popular. It's very busy all the time, so it's hard to get on that road when there's not several others on it there too. So you don't want to completely stop and get out and then them sit there and wait on you to walk around and see what you could find.
Because it's a very
narrow.
road.
You can't just pull off to the side and get out of the way.
And it's hard to fit even two down that road. But I mean, now it's also so busy. We had somebody pull prank. We passed a vehicle up, and then moments later, that whoever was in it screamed really loud, scared the daylights out of us.
Yes.
But like, it's hard to say anything out there is really paranormal when you have people pulling stunts like that. Which is why I'm gonna say on here, if you're that person, don't do that. Like, it was funny, but people are out there for other reasons, and that's kind of. I mean, it was funny. We laughed, and we got a good laugh out of it. I'm not saying.
Until we were followed by that vehicle.
Yeah, and then after that,
then it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah. So if you're out there, be a little considerate to other people who might be out there for other thing, like for the same reason, maybe.
But there was an area where we did get out. It was kind of like at the very beginning or very end, depending on what direction you're coming from, where there was a bunch of stuffed animals that we actually did get out.
We did get out, and we do have pictures of boards. Several pictures. That was actually it wasn't. Some people say that there was a light that a light that they saw was the light, but again, it's hard to say.
It's hard to debunk, or it's hard to confirm that whenever there's so many different vehicles.
I said it was a car, just because it could have very well been. Although some people have said on the episode that's not a car.
Yes.
And there was a different thing I did with other people that we caught something questionable too. But for this channel, we didn't really.
Yeah.
It was more pictures, and I got out of the tracks. They didn't. They were. She said no. She took one look at the track and was like, "Nope, I'm good." So I got out of the tracks, and I have a tendency to say that nothing's happening, and then something happens.
Every time she says that, something happens. It might be small, it might be big, but something happens every time.
So I was just like, there's nothing happening. But then we look at the pictures that were being taken, and I'm surrounded by orbs.
There's one picture in specifically that the orb is like right here by her head, and I mean you can. There's no
lights other than the car.
The car, which is not even parked towards her. It's angled the other way. So the only light is the flash from the camera itself. But the orb is like right there beside her head, and you can't there's no denying that's what that was.
Yeah.
Also, for the record, I was not a host for that episode, so no, I did not get out of the car and go up to the creepy rail.
Oh, that's right.
Track.
It's actually.
I didn't come in until later.
Yeah, it's the next one. Although she's been with me on every single one, the first 3, I was the only technical host of the channel. Now,
but also with Bragg Road, while she was at the railroad track, as we were leaving, so we went there several times. We went there twice, I believe. The first time we went there, we didn't video it, I don't believe.
Or we did, and something happened, and the footage was
and we weren't able to actually access it.
Yeah. Which has happened to me on a different time too. That's happened several times to me.
So the first time we went out there, she went by the railroad track. Now, mind you, this railroad track is decommissioned. It's not used anymore. It hasn't been for years. But whenever she went up to it, I kid you not, we heard a train as if it was rolling down the tracks.
Enough to scare me to go back to the car.
She ran back to the car.
But we waited because we thought maybe we were wrong about the tracks,
and maybe they had started back up. But
so we waited and no train. But none of that video footage was usable.
Yeah, which was sad because that was
and that one we had actually gotten out and done. It wasn't as muddy, and we got out and read the little signs, because there's signs that tell you the history of it. Mm-hmm. The first time we were able to get out and really dig into it.
Yeah, because there wasn't a whole bunch of people on it that night, so we were able to actually get out and check things out. Unfortunately, when we did go back, however, there were several people.
It was really hard
So it was really hard to actually get
Y'all kind of got what we could put together, and we didn't even use any footage from the first trip, just because it was unusable, or it was garbled. It was weird. It was like something messed with the camera, and you couldn't. Our voices were garbly, and you couldn't really understand what we were saying. Yeah. So I was so aggravated because there was so much good stuff the first time we went, and then the second time there was still good stuff. It just wasn't.
The EVP that we had
kept going off.
So where I was in the passenger seat, and the EVP stayed between yellow and red the whole time.
And granted, we thought maybe it's just because of being in the vehicle. But the strange thing is I had an EVP recorder in the back seat with me that stayed on green.
Mm-hmm.
So we had two different EVPs showing two different readings, and so it's not like it was the car. The EVP wasn't around any phones because we even stuck our phones where
they wouldn't interfere.
So
I even held the EVP up to the radio, and it didn't go off. Like it didn't register that.
Well, and then she rolled her window down and crazily hand out.
Sometimes you gotta do crazy stuff to get what you need, right?
Well, and then it got to a point where you did that for a little while, but we got to a section and you got sick.
Yes, and Cody did too.
Yeah,
Cody felt,
and they were on the same side of the car.
He was sitting behind me in the back seat.
It was Jeannie in the driver's seat, her in the passenger, me behind Jeannie, and Cody, and only that side of the car got sick.
We had felt like something was standing right. I got chills, standing right beside our window.
And Cody refused to roll it down.
Cody was one of those skeptics.
He's skeptic until it happens.
And so for him to say there's something here that I can feel it.
Yeah, because he doesn't usually
he's
believe
not,
that.
He doesn't,
like,
you know.
He's always, there's an explanation.
Yes.
And it's really funny because when there's not an explanation, he's the first one to scream and the first one to run. But we're not talking about those episodes. Unfortunately, we're only talking about a certain amount of season 1. We'll talk about the big one at a later date.
We'll come back to that one because that alone
there's so much to talk
so
about.
much more to talk about.
So much more.
So we're just hitting our first half of it. Since they're not very long.
But Cody, Cody is and he even said, I don't like this.
Yes. So we quickly closed all the windows because I also had the sunroof open because that's how I was taking the pictures because we weren't able to actually get out. So I had my hands up out of the sunroof, taking pictures after pictures and like turning angles and getting different sides. So we like quickly, rolled all those up, closed them up, and like sped up a little bit.
And we drove that road like 3-4 times.
Yes.
Because you have to drive it once, drive it back, and then we did it again.
Yes, to see if we still have the same thing, which is crazy because we didn't.
No.
The second go round, the EVPs weren't going off as much. We didn't feel like we were being like, something beside us.
Well, and with a different person, the experience that I had out there, we had our electronics, and it was crazy because we had a GPS on to lead us, and the GPS kept routing us back to the road. Mm-hmm. No matter how many times we got off the road, it kept routing us, and like we kept typing in that we wanted to go to a gas station, and we're like, no, gas station, and it just kept Bragg Road, no Bragg Road.
We don't want to go back. We want to go. We want to leave.
Yeah, so, but that was one of the experiences I had that I was telling her about, and she was like, I don't know if I want to, but I was like, I need you to see it. It's cool.
Yeah, so the first time I went to Bragg Road was several years ago. So I went into like a full-on panic attack. I mean, like I couldn't breathe. I was overwhelmed. But the person I was with said that he saw an orb right in the middle of the road.
Oh, I could see sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I could see the comments. And we got a comment, it said, what's the most crazy experience you've ever encountered? Ooh.
Like, are we talking about on the channel or just in life in general?
I'm gonna go with life in general. Like, what led you to believe in the film?
Oh gosh. Well, I was probably in junior high. We were friends. We were actually best friends at the time too. I was staying at my parents' house. Mind you, I lived with my aunt. So when I say I was staying at my parents' house, that's why. I was in my room, had the lights out. Well, You know, I was what? How old were you in junior
Uh,
high? 12, 13?
14, because I met Cody in 8th grade and I was 14, so we were 13,
13, 14. So 13, 14, you know, just, you know, laying in bed. I just turned everything off, about to go to sleep. Um, when I hear a tapping on my window. Um, like this is like the first like something's there, you know, kind of moment. Um, so I'm laying there and I just keep hearing this tapping over and over and over again on my window. And the way my room was set up was my bed was this way and the window was right at the end of it. So I'm like, why is there tapping? So me being me, I obviously pulled back the curtain because I'm just curiosity, right?
asking for it.
And there was nothing there. There was no bushes outside the house, or no way for a branch to be tapping on a window. Um, so there was that moment. Another moment in the same house was when me and my brother were in the living room. He was playing on the computer. I was watching TV. Um, our parents had gone for whatever reason, I don't know. Um, so therefore, it's just me and him. We're in the same room. Same room. Uh, we hear a door slam. I'm not talking about a light slam. I'm talking about like someone had, you know,
There was anger to it.
full force slammed the door shut. So like me and him just stop and we stare at each other, wondering what just happened. Um, so again, curiosity. We get up and we're looking because my bedroom door was already shut. His bedroom door was already shut because we had dogs and we didn't want them to get in our rooms while we weren't there. And the bathroom door was still open, so it wasn't that door. My parents' bedroom door was open, so it wasn't that door. However, their bathroom door that was usually open was closed. And so my parents' room was right across the hall from my room. And I was like, don't think I want to sleep in here tonight. So luckily for me, my brother had a love seat in his room. And I crashed on that night because I was not sleeping in my room across from the room where the door slammed. But it was after that, after being in that house, was when I was like, okay, there's something here. There's something more than what we see. And then after that, it was like I was more like in tune with like what is there, that like the noises that shouldn't be there that I hear and stuff like that. My brother had actually said that um, he had saw shadows in that house, which really made it, you know, creepy. Um, luckily for me though, I didn't have to stay there. So that was good. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to my aunt's house.
Well,
So
and for me, I believe since I was little, but there's multiple reasons. One, so after my grandpa died, this was a couple years later, and my sister was really little and she could talk, and she got lost in the yard. Which, looking at the yard now, I'm just like, it's an acre of land. I don't know how the heck she got lost in it.
it's clear. It's a clear.
Yeah, but well, except the back area when we were kids wasn't as cleared as it is now. There was kind of like a little wooded area.
Gotcha.
Well, she got lost, and for several hours my parents couldn't find her. Well, when they finally did find her, they asked her, why didn't you come get somebody? And her response was, well, Pawpaw said you come find me. Our Pawpaw was dead. And then, but that happened to her. But what happened to me, I believe from that point, but what happened to me was I used to see two of them when I was little. And this still scares me to this day because my daughter has seen him. And I don't know what it means, but it scares the living daylights out of me. When I was little, I saw what I called the red one and the blue one. And the blue one was the nice one. He's Pawpaw. He was always Pawpaw. And the red one, it had Pawpaw's face, but the way he smiled at me, it wasn't Pawpaw. And it terrified me as a kid, and I saw him even long after I stopped seeing the blue one. And another thing that reinforced it is I never told my kids about him because I don't want to scare them. Always,
Yeah.
I never told my kids about him. Well, one day my daughter was talking, and she brought him up.
When?
This was when she was about 5 or 6.
Wow.
And I called my mom crying because my mom, I was terrified to sleep in our room. I was terrified to do anything. My mom had to call in because we were raised Christians, and she called in a priest and had like holy water done, had everything done because I was terrified. Well, when my daughter said it, I freaked out and did the same thing, just a little different because our beliefs are a little different now. But I freaked out and did the same thing, and she has not mentioned it since. She has mentioned my Aunt Kathy, who died, who she's never met. She has mentioned her.
That's crazy.
But she didn't understand because Kathy died of breast cancer, and she had lost her hair. So she kept calling him a he, but she kept saying Kathy. And I was like, yeah, that's your Aunt Kathy. And she's like, no, but she described Kathy.
Okay.
So I kind of believe since I was little, another incident happened with my grandpa again. So we were in my grandpa's house because we lived at his house after he died. And my dad had gone fishing with a buddy. Well, stuff kept falling out of cabinets. And
Wow.
I kept watching this couch cushion that it was one that fluffed up, and then when someone sits in it, it goes down. I kept seeing that happen. Like somebody was agitated and getting up and getting mad because we weren't responding. That night, my dad almost died.
That's insane.
And my mom started to be like, I don't feel good. Something's wrong. Where's Peanut? Like everyone's like, no, Tony, it's fine. Because we had friends over. The guys went fishing, the women stayed and were hanging out with the kids. And my mom just kept, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. And it's like my grandpa was there and he was getting mad because stuff kept falling over just randomly falling. And we were like, no, it's fine. It's just Pawpaw. But I think he was trying to tell us, my dad almost died that night.
He was trying to let y'all know something's up.
Yeah, something wrong. So that's kind of what led me to believe. The craziest thing we've ever happened, like, recently happened to us, but we can't talk about it because it's an episode that we're not
That'll
talking
be at a
about.
later date.
Yeah,
and
so
I promise it's not going to let you down.
It's worth the watch. It was really funny.
Actually,
All of that was worth it.
if you want to know what we're talking about, it's actually posted on our TikTok page. You just got to figure out which one it is, because I'm not going to let you know. But
But it's a really
when
good
you
one.
see it, you'll know which one it is.
Well, I'm trying to get, there's another angle because the person had cameras, and there's another angle of it. I'm not going to say what it was, but it's really funny to watch from both angles.
Yes.
Because it just, one of them doesn't have sound though. So like you
capture the whole moment.
yeah, but it's
We
really
just got to figure out how we can.
But that was the
get that
craziest
video.
thing on this channel I've ever had happen. Now,
But
so hard.
we're not going to.
No, I went to a different place one time that I want to take her to. It's going to be really fun. And I had some stuff happen over there, but that I'm not going to talk about.
We're hoping and crossing our fingers that we get to go to that location for season 2.
Yeah, because
We just gotta see how life is at the moment. Because the reason we kind of went absent for a while is because I was in school. She was working a lot, so we kind of slowed down a little bit. So depending on the school situation, I might go back in June.
Well, I'm hoping to
We
go
still,
back
we're,
in
we're
August.
gonna try to juggle different locations. We'll just gotta figure out.
And that's another reason
How
why
to
we're
do it.
kind of staying to our area in the
Yes.
Louisiana area is just because with our schedules, it's really hard to travel. We would have to plan 3 days of being away from work and home and just
Whatnot.
we want to do stuff like that. We're
Oh,
not,
absolutely.
but right now we're just not ready to do that
We
stuff.
just gotta figure out everything else before we can do stuff like that.
But we are like planning a big one to go do, but that
We're just not sure when that's gonna take place. So
and we
all
gotta
ask
financially
is,
get our ducks in a row.
Just be patient with us.
We're gonna do more.
We're gonna do more. Just like I said, just be patient with us, please. As of right now,
But in the
focusing
meantime,
on-
we're gonna do podcasts too.
that is something new. We're gonna try. We're gonna start. We're gonna talk about different haunted places. We plan on talking about different legends in the area or anywhere. We're not.
Those are not gonna be limited to just Texas.
No,
So
it's gonna be worldwide.
and we're gonna talk about different, different legends, Bigfoot, stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
and if there's something you want us to talk about or want to know more about, please feel free to let us know. We're definitely open to all ideas.
And we're not gonna stop doing episodes, but we just figured the podcast will give us, a chance to connect with you guys, and y'all get to know us a little better through them because we're jokesters and we think a lot.
We can't be serious for very long. I'm surprised we've made it this long without cracking a joke to one another about something.
There's been run almost,
I know, I figured.
but we are gonna do other things.
Yes.
And
So make sure y'all stay tuned for that.
And we're going to keep posting on TikToks. Now, our TikToks are really just clips of stuff we've done, but we have decided that, when we go out, we may go live for a few minutes,
Yes.
or we may film a TikTok out there and post it. We're gonna keep y'all updated. It's just the episodes
aren't going to come out till later.
Yeah.
All right. Is there another location we want to talk about?
Yes. So this one was Big Woods. This was the one I officially brought you in as host.
When we did the nighttime.
Yes.
For the
daytime,
daytime,
you
I was
wasn't.
not part. I wasn't an official member.
Host. Yes.
At
but
the time, it was just a bunch of friends going to the cemetery because
that's
who doesn't
what we
do
did.
that?
So we that was another one that was really difficult to do anything with because we weren't allowed in after dark. We could stand at the gate
and
and we did get questionable pictures, but we didn't have we didn't have the spirit talker. We had EVPs, but nothing went off.
Yes.
And I still can't pinpoint what spooked because she stayed in the truck because she just got this weird feeling.
Yeah, I had that overwhelming feeling of dread. So I was like, I gotta sit down. I gotta ground myself.
But we walked down the road, talking me, Cody, and Jeannie. We walked down the road, and we don't know what spooked us, but we eventually
So
ran.
what it was is it got silent. There was and mind you, in this area, it's called Big Woods for a reason.
It's completely wooded.
It's wooded. All the pathway down to the cemetery is nothing but woods on either side of the road. So while they walked,
So it wasn't like something jumped out at us.
but I mean, in woods, there's always bugs. There's always some kind of something, and it had been raining, so of course there's, the rain frogs and stuff like that. So it got silent. I mean, completely silent.
And we've already established in another episode that that's a bad thing.
When things go silent, it's like, okay, it's time to go. So at the time, I was still, trying to get myself back in order, and they come hauling butt up to the truck. I mean, running, jumping in, and their truck is pretty high up off the ground. So the fact that they jumped in it was alarming, and I'm like, what is going on? What happened there? It got quiet. Deadpan, it got quiet. Okay, say no more. I understand.
And then we left. But that, again, I feel like that would have been an even better one if we had been allowed into it.
Oh yeah,
Because there was two whole sections, and all you could really see from where we were standing was one.
Yes, and even then it was really hard to actually see anything. But we did spend a good bit of time out there in the daytime, where it just made her complete fall. It's actually it's on our TikTok as well. She just went.
And I had the GoPro
GoPro on
It
her.
was on my head.
Yes.
because I have a body one that broke, and now I'm the dummy walking around with it.
Like Cyclops.
Yes.
But
So you get it from Jeannie, because Jeannie was the one following me.
She was
Cody
filming.
was following her, and because again she wasn't a host yet, so Jeannie was telling me, because I was the host. I even make several jokes. I'm like, "Why are you following me?" And she's like, "You're the only host. Stop. I got to."
and then I'm even making some comments. I'm like, "You're the host. You're supposed to be following. You're supposed to be the one on the camera. Like nobody else really needs to be there. Like you're the main focal point.
Yeah.
You in the cemetery."
So there's a hole, and Jeannie catches it and gets it on camera. She's laughing, and they missed it. They didn't actually see me fall. They just turned around, and I'm on the ground yelling, "I'm alright."
But then, luckily for us, it was caught on camera, so we got to enjoy
You also
it
get
too.
the GoPro where it's like,
Where you really like you catch the hole almost hit the ground, like she went down, but like she didn't like face plant.
No, I ended
Fortunate
up
enough
like,
that she didn't face plant,
I ended up like sideways,
but it was
and then I just
very.
kind of sit there. It was like,
It was, and then I almost had a fall because I literally stepped into a hole. There was a hole in the ground,
she
like a
managed
hole.
to gracefully catch herself.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, my boot filled up with water,
Yeah,
which was not pleasant.
you were very mad after.
Well, yeah, I had a wet sock. Nobody likes to have a wet sock.
Yeah, so that one was fun.
But yes, we got a lot of pictures. There was a lot of beautiful headstones out there. There was actually a second part to that cemetery that me and Jess ventured into. Unfortunately, our other crew members weren't present for that. I believe they were working, but we wanted to, get more footage out there. So we didn't spend a whole lot of time out there. We did have a spirit talker at the time. We didn't really.
And it didn't really go off, which led us to think that the one we have is very credible, because we have cemeteries where nothing
happened,
and then we have cemeteries where it says weird things. I can't talk about weird things because it's season 2, but still, but I mean, it happens in other ones too.
Oh yes.
But yeah, so we actually like the spirit talker that we've been using, and we're probably going to keep using it until we can, because I want to get one that Chris from Old Park Hotel had, and that one was really neat. But right now, the one we have does wonders for us. So, so we're going to keep it. And but yeah, Big Woods, I feel like it could have been more, and we caught questionable pictures. So there was a few, like a couple of little bitty orbs that shouldn't have been where they were. Because one picture there's no lights, and then
so it's not like a reflection of something, because that gives a different kind of lighting in the picture.
And it was in weird spots. It was never in the same spot.
Yeah, it was one was like up in the mid-air where it's clearly not a decoration from one of the from a loved one or anything like that. You can tell it's on a bug. So it was definitely questionable as to what it was.
Now that one we probably won't go back unless they let us in at night, because there's.
I mean, we could possibly maybe contact like the owner of it.
I had done that for a different thing, and he shot us down, and he was rude.
Okay,
so there's a good chance that we probably won't go back to that one. But it was fun.
Don't get me wrong, like, going in the daytime is really awesome. You get to see like everything. It's not, limited to whatever our flashlight just happens to catch. But it's definitely a lot scarier when you go at night, because
there's nothing around it. It's woods. It's a road with woods, and then bam, cemetery with a gate. That's said to have a gatekeeper.
Which is why we were standing at the gate. That's why we came back. Like, we knew that we couldn't go in, but there was the said gatekeeper, and we wanted to see if we happened to, communicate or get some kind of sign that he was there. But unfortunately, we didn't catch anything.
And then that leads us into Old City Cemetery in Galveston, Texas. I enjoyed that one tremendously, and not because of anything paranormal, but because we had actually paid for a tour guide to walk us there, and Brittany got to join us on that one. That
Brittany
was really
actually
fun.
able to be. Brittany was also there for the daytime.
Daytime
as
one,
well.
yeah, because there's a day Old City Part 1 and then Old City Part 2. I don't know if we ever did it 3. I think it was just 1.
I think we did it in 2.
No, we did do it in 3 because we did Part 1 was the daytime, Part 2 was the Lady in Black, which is what she referred to herself as, who told us all of the history of it, and then the Part 3 was her walking us into the cemetery. So it was a 3-part.
Okay.
It was a 3-part. But Brittany got to join us for all the parts, and it was really fun.
Which Brittany is also a friend that we've known since middle school.
Yeah. So
we're
just a bunch of friends doing it
yes.
all. Matter of fact, I don't know. She uses the colorful F word and then sakes me. Like, I'm going to make a game out of it. Every time she says, say Jessica. Oh, it's so funny. I laugh. I literally was like, I'm going to make a boomerang.
It's definitely,
she brings another chemistry
yes.
into the dynamic when she's with us. She was actually supposed to join us for this, but she ended up
with laryngitis.
Yeah, she lost her voice.
Because it's Mardi Gras weekend.
Yeah, and she was.
So she's been
doing
and hollering while she was out there.
Yeah, so she messaged me this morning. She was like, I am so sorry that I can't. And I was like, it's but she is going to be joining us more for season 2, and I feel like, no, she's technically not a host for the show, but she's our photographer. She does professional photography, and so she has a really good camera and takes really fantastic pictures. Matter of fact, in Old City, the spirit talker went off a lot.
Several times.
So many, and around one of the graves that was very popular as the lady who murdered her children.
Alberti.
Yeah, the Alberti grave. And that one went off several times, and it was like guilty, forget, it said a lot of stuff. And, but Brittany was taking pictures. Brittany was taking pictures, and in one of her photos, it's like something had cut. Like she wasn't supposed to get a picture of it because it was just black, and all the other pictures were fine.
Mm-hmm. It was like a corner. There was no explanation as to why it was black. I mean,
yeah,
it should have been. It cut like half of the headstone and grass off.
Yeah,
there's no explanation as to why that was missing, and it's like a straight angle where it's like cut. There's nothing there.
Well, and then she got good ones of them up because this place had old mausoleums like that were half buried underground because they weren't paid to raise. And so this cemetery, you had people buried on top of people.
So the reason this cemetery is huge. It's technically like several all together. Like it's portioned off in different sections. There was a massive hurricane in the early 1900s that wiped out Galveston. And so the bodies were buried. I forgot where she said they were buried the first time, but they basically had to I'm trying to think of the correct term, but they had to move the bodies into a different area, which became Old City Cemetery. But
then your family had to pay to have you raised, and if they did pay to have you raised, they buried someone on top of it.
Yes, I believe she said it was six graves deep in some areas.
Ah! What? Brittany, she said, "I'm here, just not on screen." Hi, Brittany. Oh, I love you. I'm glad she's. But yeah,
glad you're with us. Yeah. Even if you're not here
even if you're not on screen, you're still.
But yeah, I believe she said it was 6 graves deep.
Yeah.
In some areas.
And then the mausoleums you could really see because they looked like they were supposed to be huge, and like some had these like gigantic like window holes.
Yeah.
And you could look down. But I made a comment because one of them looked like my favorite TV show. I was like, I don't want to be in here. But Brittany got to go on that one with us. We had a lot of fun.
She's
She's gonna be going a lot more.
Yeah, you hear that, Brittany?
Yeah, she's gonna be going a lot more.
So we were able to get a lot of like day footage, but unfortunately for that day it was really windy during the daytime footage, so unfortunately it's hard to hear.
But Brittany got beautiful pictures of the day too.
Thank you for the hearts. There's definitely a lot of photographs. The videos are good. It's just
it's more of a history kind of thing. The ones with the lady in black,
those came out fantastic.
Yes. I don't know her name. I wish I knew her name because I would thank her.
Yes, definitely. But she's known for being the lady in black. That's what she goes by for the tours. So with the cemetery, they had a rule. They didn't, they weren't allowed in after dark. So
unless you paid for this tour.
So we didn't want to, break the rules because we don't do that. So we really wanted to go in at night because it's a huge cemetery. It's said to be like pretty haunted. So we found a tour guide who goes by the Lady in Black. She was a sweet lady. She was very, very knowledgeable of the Galveston Island in general.
Yeah, not just the cemetery. She could tell us the history of the island.
But she also knew so much about the cemetery and was explaining different graves to us and the history of them. Like one of them was a child she had talked about, explaining, what had happened and the history behind it. And then there was also some generals from the war.
There was also pirates.
I really wish we would have brought some water in here.
I know. So we talked about pirates. She talked about pirates. She told us about a very popular pirate of the area and gave us a history about that. It was a really good episode in the sense that other than the pictures and the spirit talker, I keep confusing the two. The spirit talker kept going off.
What is she saying? Look on yours.
LOL, yep. Okay. Yeah, yep, you're going to be going with us, Brittany. She's watching this right now.
I know, she's talking through it, so yeah, I can't read the comments right there, so talk to her, so we know what she's saying.
John LaFleur was the pirate. Oh, see, she remembers.
One of us do.
She's just like, it was this one. But thank you, Brittany. She's
coming in clutch. Thank you very much.
Again, I feel like we have all known each other for years. So like, we get together and it's funny, and then when we all get together,
it's even better.
Again, she likes to F-word sex me all the time. It's gonna be a game. We're gonna make a game out of it. I'm not gonna say what kind of game. It's gonna be a game.
Really just shouldn't be a drinking game, but I'm pretty sure that's what she's doing.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to drink a lot because she does it to me several times. Well, because I nearly fall. I try to walk backwards, which I can't even walk forward
on a good day.
So I really shouldn't be walking backwards. And then Cody tries to walk backwards, and then he masters it, and I get mad because he was with us on that one too. It was
well, for the daytime, it was me, Cody, and Brittany.
And then her husband.
And
then for the nighttime, Jeannie got to join.
And Jeannie was able to join all of us.
So technically, the crew, Brittany's husband doesn't really, he just pads along. He doesn't really.
You don't really participate.
So, the crew consists of me and Taylor and Brittany. And then the camera people, which is Cody and Jeannie, although I tell Cody all the time, he's like an alternate. Yeah, he's good. So, Jeannie's, because during the episode I was supposed to talk about, but this is reference, Cody can't hold a camera. You get this, and then you get his foot, and then you get my butt, and so I'm just
wherever he happens to like turn to, the camera moves with him.
Yeah, he can't leave it.
He
He turns
can't
his
hold
body.
it in.
Everything turns.
Everything's gotta move.
So he's a camera dude, but like
not the.
no, not the camera. That would be Jeannie. Jeannie and Brittany, when she goes, we hand her the camera too because she is a professional photographer, so she's really good with cameras.
You really should have been there for the startup of season 2, Brittany.
Yes,
that would have been
it. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to give it away because it's not out yet, but it was really.
That's something we'll have to talk about
when it's just the three of us. Because I can't wait. I wish you would have been there. You would have been. Although she probably would have been like, no, we're staying.
Yeah, no.
We didn't.
No, we didn't run. We were in a car.
We drove.
We drove.
But anyway. you're gonna be with us for the next one. We're gonna get you.
Definitely. But also
she said, which one was it? We can say it because we're done with it. Can't we?
No.
I'll type it to you.
Well, we'll tell you in a little bit.
I'm actually going to type it to her.
Okay. You can text her.
Yes.
There was also a popular
story
in Old City Cemetery about the Alberti family, which was a woman who they say had postpartum depression, like severe postpartum depression that never went away. She ended up poisoning her children, and several had died, and then one happened to actually survive it. She was, after being very ill for a while. She had put poison in wine, I believe, and gave it to her family, and then she eventually, I believe,
she ended up going out the same way.
She took herself out as well.
Yeah. Right after she got released. She had gotten released.
Yeah,
and
she
was back home.
Yeah. And she was home for a very short period of time before taking her own life, unfortunately. Now, look at your face.
You know what? I need to quit because I got it right here.
Oh, great. And then, actually, the whole family actually is buried in one plot, which I find strange, given the circumstances.
Yeah, because normally, like, if you murder your children,
she's buried with her husband and her children. Again,
and she gets a lot of sympathy because this was back before people knew what postpartum was.
Yeah, before they knew how to treat it.
Yeah, before they, women were just sent home, and if you had, like, 5 kids, and back then you had kids, like, back to back, so there was no time to heal, and so, like, she gets a lot of sympathy from people, and I can see that, because, I mean, back then, times were completely different. You didn't know what it was. You didn't know that there were treatments for it. You just went home with your husband and your newborn, 6 kids and a newborn, and you were just expected to do it all.
To do it, because at that time,
And back then, I mean, some people had family, some people didn't have family, depending on where, some people. Back then, it was a time where if your husband wanted to move and leave, you had to move and leave, and you might not have had a support system.
Yeah, because at that time, women were like, they stayed home, they took care of the children in the house while, the husband went out to work.
Matter of fact, the husband was out working and doing something like
whenever
on the farm, and then came running because there was screaming because children were being poisoned.
So they were ill.
And then back then they called a doctor to the residence. There was no rushing your child to a hospital.
Yeah, and
you had to wait for the doctor.
By the time the doctor had got there, unfortunately, I believe 2 of the children had already passed away.
So it was a very different time, and she gets a lot of sympathy. I mean, as a mother, I can't imagine doing that. But again, I didn't live back then. I have a support system. I have family. I have friends.
Village.
Yes, and when I had my son, so I had that during my first pregnancy, and I had it afterwards. And Cody, the second time, he noticed the signs so well that I was still in the hospital. And I I started crying because he wanted to go get food without me. And I start crying, you're leaving me. And my friends at the time, they were standing there looking like, what is going on? And Cody just, doctor! Like he out the room, went and got the doctor, and was like, fix it.
No.
So like going through it myself, I can't imagine having to go through that with no help.
Yeah.
And doctors not knowing what it was or how to treat it.
Yeah.
Because my doctor came in and he was fantastic, and he was like, nope, we're going to put you on this, and you're going to, and then he monitored me because I didn't need that medicine for long.
Yeah, just for the beginning.
Right
So
after I can't say like I would ever do that to my kids because I do have 2 kids, but I'm not in her situation.
yeah,
You know, situations are different. So
and my kids are animals, so literally animals.
I mean, mine are too, but
Mine are
real kids, but they act like they're animals. Mine's a dog. Well, I mean, I have a dog too, and he's a fuzzy potato. Even my fuzzy potato. But, and that's going to bring us to our last one that we're going to talk about for this live stream. The Crybaby Bridge. A lot of people point out that that's not a very long one, but it's hard to do bridges.
Yes, because it's in the middle of a neighborhood. It's a very busy area. We had to sit and wait for several cars to pass by before we could actually get out. We did get out. My brother actually was present for this one. It was me, Jess, Jeannie, and my brother Christian who happened to join us that night.
He joins us every now and then.
And my brother is very, I'm trying to think of it. Intuitive. He's also very, he doesn't mind kind of like instigating.
Yes.
Which is
I don't do it on purpose.
Which is something we don't really do. We don't, we don't try to instigate.
My provoking is by accident. I'll say nothing happens, and then the spirits will be like, "Oh yeah,
watch this. Hold on here."
Yeah. I'm gonna watch this shit.
Right. So we got there, and we had to wait for several cars to arrive. But the history behind it is apparently a woman who lost her child. And it said that you can hear a baby crying, and you can also hear, a woman crying and stuff like that. We didn't get any daytime footage. This was just a random
Yeah,
trip
this
out
is somewhere
there.
we went and we added it to the season.
But my brother was using, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a different spirit box on his phone. And we were out there with with that and the camera. I don't think we had our EVPs out with us that day. And so we walked the bridge for a little bit, and we started to get this weird feeling. And so we got back in the car. Well, we were driving back and forth on the bridge since there was no one at the time. There was no traffic. And we got several different responses on the spirit box while we were going back and forth and sitting on the bridge. We turned the lights out. All the of course. But I can't remember everything that was said.
I don't remember it either. I just know that it did go off a few times. Enough that we were like, okay.
It was almost like intelligent responses. There was names given.
Yes.
I believe it said fall.
Yes, I think so. Don't quote me.
Don't quote me either.
But that one was fun. We had Christian, and it's hard to do a bridge because you have, like she said, you have people coming and going. So other than the spirit talker, there was really nothing else to it. That's why it was such a short episode. And we're gonna have some of those because if nothing's happening, there's no sense in
Or if it's busy area, we can't just sit there and
Well, even like I said, even with Bragg Road, eventually we left just because it was too busy to get out and do anything. So we'll do with what we can, but that's also part of our stick is we're not going to fake it. We're not going to say, okay, we're going to stay here and make this happen. That's not how it works. Spirits don't always do what you want. She said, oh, never mind, I don't know.
Trying to think, is there anything else we need?
No, we covered that we're going to be. This live stream is also being filmed on a video camera, so I'm going to post it to YouTube later as a podcast. So these will technically be our first podcast, and every time we do it, we'll upload it as a podcast.
Yes. So for those who aren't able to make the live stream, they can go back to our YouTube channel.
Well, and I've also did this so that way I can cut up bits and pieces, and we can post it back to TikTok later, because again, TikTok doesn't save your live stream. Yeah. So it will be able to view it later. So everything we talked about, if you want to add comments to it on YouTube, remember we are Ghost Spirits, Legends, and Beyond. Yes, we are a mouthful, but
But we cover it all.
we cover all of it. So Ghost Spirits, Legends, and Beyond. We're on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, although we are really bad at keeping
I'm trying to get better about it. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, etc.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you. Yeah, so.
We also have an Instagram.
I forget about that one because
We don't really post on it that often because, well, I forget. Because again, life.
she usually does. I make the tip, like I'll cut apart
she does the editing and stuff like that.
and then I'll send it to her and then she'll post it.
I'm usually sort of kind of in charge, I guess, in a sense of the social media.
Hi.
I actually just recently got logged back in on the Facebook page, so I'm actually able to.
I forget
Get
to
on
look at
there.
comments all the time. I'm just like, oh, we have 8 comments and I'm not responding to not one of them. Now, eventually, if we get to the point where we may not be able to respond to all of your comments, but we
will
do
We
try
will definitely
to
try.
get as many as we can. But again,
Let's just join.
I feel bad they made it weird again. I'm
So,
sorry.
we can stay on for a little bit longer if we need to.
Well, I mean, we can do a little get to know us. I guess
Take
I'll
off.
start. Okay, so my name is Jessica Russell, and I'm married to Cody, who does stuff on the channel too. We have 2 kids. I do that. I don't know.
Nervous tick.
Yes. I put my hair up because my other one is I twist my hair, so I
She
didn't
likes
want
to
to.
eat for you.
It's not in. I just put it up against it. It's very soft, so I put it up against it. And I had my hair up because I knew that I would do that because I don't know why.
She's
I've
all
done
right.
live streams before. It just makes me nervous.
Well, yeah, we're talking to like I don't know how many people.
Yeah,
how
I
many
don't know.
people are
I
out
don't
there
know.
right now.
But I'm married with 2 kids, Taylor and Robert. I have a little girl and a little boy. I have known her. We've said this. I've known her since we were little bitty.
6th grade.
Yeah,
We met in
little-
6th grade.
Yeah, little bitty.
Because that's whenever I came back to the area.
Yeah, little bitty. Brittany too.
I met Brittany in 6th grade.
I met her
In
in
art
5th grade.
class.
Yeah,
We were in art class. That's when we met.
I met Brittany in 5th grade. I was the kid that talked to the new kids because I always felt like they had nobody. So I was known for being friends
Thank you for the heart.
with all the new kids. Even to this day, a lot of people, as adults, they're like, "Who was your first friend when you moved here?" And they're like, "It was her."
Right? Mrs. Cox's class. Yep.
Yep. So I've known these 2 for a long time. We won't give away our age just yet. Matter of fact, I've known them longer than I've known my husband.
Yes.
Yeah, because I met him and you were there for the fiasco.
I was.
Because I didn't believe. So back then we
I
didn't
kind
have
of
phones.
I kind of encouraged the fiasco.
Yeah. Back then we didn't have phones, so he left a note in my locker, and I didn't believe it was for him.
You just made us sound very old.
So I threw it. So I threw it away. We're not that. I mean, we had phones in high school, but like in junior high, we didn't have phones.
Yeah, they weren't big things.
So he like wrote his number on a note, and then I actually.
Because we had to call on the home phone.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't believe that he liked me.
The fiasco.
It was a fiasco.
It was. It really was.
I didn't believe that he liked me. And he tried like three, I don't know how we ended up together because he must have really liked me because he tried like 3 times and all 3 times I'm like, this isn't him. And I just threw it up. He even wrote it on a piece of paper and like built a card house with his phone number on it and I still didn't get to him. Finally, he had to be like, yes, that was for me. Will you go out with me?
Not sure.
But she was there for all of it. She was there through the whole boy crazy phase. And Brittany too. That was fun. Oh.
We should have put it on
Sorry, Brittany just said we should have put it on a billboard. I am very oblivious. I didn't think it was real.
God, we love her, but man.
No,
She
on our
very
first, so me and him actually like had class together, and I didn't know his name.
Because I had class with him too.
I ended up, I had before him, I liked a boy with the same name as him, and I ended up liking my husband without knowing what his name was, and then I found out what his name was and was like, oh, she was just like, you and that name, and I was like, shut up.
Someone else just joined.
Hi. So, we went on the Renaissance Festival thing together, and he sat with me. And that's how we started talking and stuff. But even after we started talking, I still didn't believe he wanted to date me. Like, I was very oblivious, although everyone was like, yes, it was obvious from the moment he sat with you that he wanted to date you. And here we are, 16 years later.
Married with 2 kids.
Yes. Happily married. All this stuff, happily married. Yeah. And he goes with us. We have a lot of fun. Tell us a bit about you.
Hi.
Obviously, itch.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
You good?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep. Fine.
Excuse me.
No, you're selling our agents. He said, no years. Don't give away years.
We're old, I guess. Got the gray.
Brittany's older than me, isn't she? I was born in November. I'm already 31. That's not that old.
Way to go.
I know, yeah, but it's not that old. I'm still in my prime. Although my back says otherwise.
Tony, get me started.
My back, my ankles.
She has big ankles.
I do. I've always have. I can't even blame that on age.
No, that's been a thing for your entire life. Okay. Let's see. I don't even know what to talk about. I keep talking about myself. Obviously, my name's Taylor. I'm a nurse. I've been in the nursing career for several years.
Since high school. You worked in the nursing program in high school.
I got my CNA whenever I graduated high school. And I've been working ever since. I currently am trying to get into the RN program again because unfortunately I missed going on to the third. What'd she say?
She said, I'm 32 this August. Yeah, she be walking crooked.
She really does. Well, I guess I can go ahead and say my age since everybody else. I'm 30.
So it's 32, 31, 30.
Well, Jeannie's 34.
Ha!
Whoops. Let's see. Yeah. So I was in the nursing program, the RN program, but I didn't quite make it to the third level. I missed by 3 points, which is anyway. So hopefully I can test back in June to finish up the program. I've been with Jeannie for, it'll be 6 years in July. I was 31 in July. Let's see. We don't have kids. I'm I have a dog named Ragnar, and two cats named Nala and Pandora. Let's see, I did have a second dog, but unfortunately, due to health reasons, she was she passed in September. That was my baby. I had her for 12 years. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that because I'll start crying.
You're doing better in school than I am. I'm the queen of procrastination.
Oh, trust me. I've been going to classes since 2015.
2012.
Like,
But, okay, I went for criminology, and
thank you for the
then
hearts.
I went for criminology, and then I had kids and had to, like, stop.
You
And
have
then,
kids. That's explainable.
well, and then, so I switched my degree plan, and it turns out I have, like, 1 year left, and I have to pay Lamar $1,500 to go back. So once I do that, I'm going to certify to teach.
Hey, Jess, how many weeks are in here?
I answered wrong once before, and I don't want to feel stupid in front of all these people, so I'm just telling you. 52. Yeah, didn't I say 72 once? And you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Me and Jeannie just looked at you like,
What? What planet do you live on? Does it sucks?
let's see. My favorite hobby is to read. I love
reading.
to read. I also like to write.
I like to. I just don't have time to.
Well, I love to. Like I make time for it.
I started journaling again. That's cool. Yep. Just kind of random stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm just writing. I just
I do like the fictional stuff. I haven't even thought about writing a book about my life. It's been a journey. Let's see.
Well, I thought about maybe we could put together once we get like a few seasons in, and write books about the places we've been.
That could definitely be done.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We would have a good bit of to go on. 52. She really did answer one time.
I did answer wrong.
It was actually, we were talking about season 1 and how many episodes we wanted to do, and she was like, well, we have to do so many to like make it last for like 70 something weeks. I was like, what? She's like, yeah. I was like,
You mean 52?
52? Oh,
I was like, I don't know where I got 72 from.
she's like, I'm not really sure where that number came from. I don't know where it came from either.
I have moments like that. There's 365 days. I should have just said
But we love her anyway, even if she can't tell us how many weeks of the year
what how many months.
it is. How many?
Well,
Good job. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think that's going to be it for this live stream. And Brittany couldn't be here, but she's here. She's just not here.
What's her username?
Wicked Luna.
Yes. So Wicked Luna on TikTok is Brittany. So she's been, commenting and chiming in as well.
Which has made it fun because, again, when the three of us are together, the dynamics change. It's really funny.
So go check out her TikTok page.
Yeah, she posts videos. I have a personal TikTok, but I don't really use it. I just use it to watch videos. I don't actually I have a few cat videos. That's it.
Cat videos. I have a personal TikTok page. However, I don't get on it anymore because I'm on our channel's TikTok.
Yeah.
And so I just use it as my own practically. I would go and like videos that I like that has nothing to do with the channel. But I do also, get on there to, like and follow other paranormal groups.
I mean, there's no point in having two different ones and having to log off, log back in.
It's a hassle. So, and then I forget passwords, and it's a whole thing.
I'm even worse with passwords. I write mine down in a book.
I have a whole book. I have a whole book over here.
Yeah, but I also
Just
have.
passwords. We don't need to have to. No,
I have.
we're not going with that.
Yeah,
I already know where that's going.
Yeah, I have.
She.
It's not the I don't write the passwords down. I just write hints that tell me what the password is. Like I look at it, I'm like, I know what that is. Brittany looks at it, she's like, I know it. You look at it, you're like, I know what that is.
Right? It's kind of hard not to.
And then we growing up together, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying it out loud because never.
You'll never live it down.
No, ever.
Let's see. Sorry. What does that say? Look at your phone.
It's not
Jessica
showing.
has a case of
Can't remember shit.
Yes. Yes, she does.
Yes.
She has what we call some timers.
I on my Sims game, he's always just like, write it down. And I'm like, not then. It's not that one. And he's like, well, then you change it like 3 times. So.
Yeah, I'm actually, so my computer is a Chromebook. It's not an actual computer desktop. I'm literally building a desktop gaming computer just so I can play The Sims and Kingdom Hearts. 2 games. And I'm building a whole
I'm
thing.
game still. I just don't do it for the other channel that I used to do.
Yeah,
I might one day. I don't know. This takes up a lot of time.
it really does. Yeah, so we've been gathering like information from podcasts and the history of things.
Which, Brittany, we're gonna drag you into those podcasts.
So be ready.
Yeah, because it's gonna be really funny talking about things that Jessica's not gonna be doing that y'all are gonna make me do that I'm not gonna know I'm doing because y'all are just not gonna tell me about it.
Exactly. Sometimes that's the best way to go with you. Just not tell you and just go.
Which we'll talk about in Hill House because they did it to me in Hill House too.
It was great. There's actually a video on TikTok, I believe, of that event that she's talking about.
As well as one of me sleeping.
There is some pictures of me sleeping because, man, it's a long drive to that location.
8 hours.
It's not 8 hours.
It was 6.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
I think it was like 6, 5.5.
Okay. See?
Well, so this woman and her husband, Cody, was just as bad. Pass out as soon as the car starts moving.
Well, okay, when I was a baby, in order to calm me down, my parents would put me in the car seat and
You are a grown adult now. That should not
I know,
matter.
but if I'm in the back seat,
I mean, it was like instant. How long it takes depends on who's driving. Jeannie was driving. But we did, obviously, we stopped at Buc-ee's because you can't be in Texas and not stop at Buc-ee's.
You stopped at every Buc-ee's from here to there. Every single
Well,
Buc-ee's. Every single Buc-ee's. And it's the only one she would use. She would not use any other.
No.
Buc-ee's was the only place we would
I like clean bathrooms, so I'm sorry. And because of my, hold on. So I actually have a really bad back, and the nerve that is affected is the one that's, for my bladder. So whenever I say I gotta go, I gotta go. So yeah, we were shoving in every Buc-ee's.
And she's got a medical thing. I've just had 2 kids, and I do the whole, like, if I sneeze, I have to, like, she thinks it's funny because she can tell when I need to go pee because I'm, like, waddling. I'm, like, trying not to uncross my legs as I walk.
It's really funny because she'll, like, put her knees together and...
Oh, that happened on the way to Galveston.
There's a whole video. I think there's 2 videos on TikTok about...
3. There was a whole
TMI just...
There was a whole I need to poop fiasco.
And I got enough, baby.
Because I ate Taco Bell.
It was great. We were sitting there, we were in line waiting for the ferry because there was a long
Oh, I had my eyes closed. I wanted to cry.
She was in the back seat, and I mean, she was miserable. I need a poop. And I mean, it's just, so I just got my phone and just
I didn't know she had
recording.
started. It took me a little bit to realize that she had been recording.
That was made of rule, not Taco Bell before. And She had Mexican pizza. I think she actually had two.
No, it was a Mexican pizza and a bean burrito, and I think it was the bean burrito.
No, it's Taco Bell. It's all it is. Thank you for the hearts.
Yeah, so that's really funny and fun.
Please go watch that video because it will not disappoint.
Well, because I didn't know at first, and then when I realized I was feeling so much pain, and I was like, I can't even poop.
And she was like, I can't open my eyes. I'm going to poop myself. I was like, open your eyes. And she opened her eyes, and it was like, cute. Because I was recording, and she...
No, what she didn't record, though, was probably the clenched butt cheeks as I was running through. It would have been funny, though. You should have. Because I did. I ran cheeks clenched and everything.
She really did. It was really funny. Like, she, like, was clenched. Oh, Lord. It was great, Brittany. Like, it was so...
You have got to go with us.
The dog walk, absolutely, with clenched best cheeks.
You got to go with us, baby, because
It was great. It was great.
I think you would have been rolling.
You would have died, because I was. And then at the same time, I'm like sitting there trying not to pee myself because I had to pee. It was a long wait and had a drink. So of course.
Oh no, you weren't. You met us there. That's what it was.
Yeah,
because it was for Old City.
Yeah, it was on our way there.
Yeah, it was on the way to Old City.
But you should have been in the truck with us on the way because you would have witnessed it firsthand. And then like she's like making a walking run for the bathroom. I mean, it was a good distance. It was a good far off, like from where I was
surprised I made it.
And I get in there, like I go in there and I go to pee, and she comes out and I was like, "You feel better?" She goes, "Oh yeah, I feel a lot better now." I was like, "Well, that's good." And then go back to the truck and we're perfectly fine. But it was great. I think there's 2 videos on the TikTok page.
So y'all should definitely go follow our TikTok because there will be a lot of videos like that.
What's that one? Just different car. Those tiny fairy bathrooms. Yes.
Who said this?
But we weren't on the ferry just yet. We were in the line for it.
The line for the ferry, the big. I say it's big, but it's not really big because the stalls are very tiny.
They're still pretty narrow.
Tiny.
But
I made it.
Great. She did.
I'm either trying not to poop myself or I'm falling asleep.
We went out to eat while we were at Heel House, and I kid you not, she had a piece of corn in her hair that she didn't even know was there. Y'all should have made her wait for the ferry. She wouldn't have made it.
I wouldn't have made it.
She wouldn't have made it, and then
we would have had to cancel the episode, and you would have drove out there for nothing because I would have needed to change your pants.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Walmart. I guess I could have changed my pants.
No, because we weren't about to sit there in the truck with that. We would have all been dying of your stench. Yeah, that was great. That was great. That was my train of thought wherever I was going with that.
I think we've officially have read an hour.
We have. And our goal was 2.
Now, Hill House, we might go the whole 2. Because, again, it's a
4.1K likes.
Whoa. And I thought my nerves were bad.
You're welcome.
I didn't have to read it.
Well, I didn't read it when we were only 2.4. Yeah, it was.
Hi, everybody. Now I'm going to do this.
I've been hitting that button.
What button? The share button.
Oh,
I've been sharing
thank
a lot.
you.
Brittany got our back.
Thank you.
We's a great team.
Yeah, that's how we do.
We're although Brittany didn't go to Heel House with us, I'm gonna have her watch the episodes and do the live stream with us just so she can comment what it was like from a viewer standpoint.
That's nice.
Yeah, get you from a viewer standpoint.
Eventually, I would love to go back. I would love to go back and like have all of us there.
All of us, and I want to
cameras.
do like I want to stay for more than a day.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to just do a night. I want to do like a weekend. Like we go Friday We stay Friday, Saturday, and all day Sunday, and then we go.
Well, I don't know if we're allowed to stay all day Sunday. We would have to talk to the owner and see if she wouldn't mind us staying.
Or at least long enough to like wrap it up and head home. But at least 2 nights of it.
Already watch.
No,
She was top of it. See,
yeah, she's there.
which is what more than what I can say because I haven't watched it. I was there. I haven't watched the videos. So
I have because I made them.
I'm just trusting her editing ability.
Which is wrong because that's not very good.
I mean,
I've been doing this for a while.
4 years.
4 years maybe. Because I did it for a different. But I've been doing it for quite a while, and I'm still like, there are better editors out there than me. Because I have the same program I've had for 4 years, and I'm limited on what I can do. But I don't want to buy the expensive program because I don't want to have to relearn.
It might be worth it later on, though.
Yeah, I mean, I eventually will have to, but for now, this one works. And they're not that bad.
No.
Videos. I mean, a lot of it is camera. Like, we have to learn how to hold the camera right, which is why Jeannie and Brittany are usually in charge of it. Because me, you're going to see the ground. You're going to see
Our butts.
Yeah.
Because
Cody.
during Martha Chapel, this one here is literally the way she's holding the camera. All you see is my ass,
Cody.
Jeannie's ass, and Cody's ass. The majority of I'm like,
Cody's got a great ass, though.
because he's your husband, you're supposed to like his butt. That doesn't mean we want to see his butt.
Yeah, I know the viewers don't want to. Sorry.
But that's all you see. You see butt. So whenever we were filming some of the daytime footage at Old City, I was like, Jess's butt. Because it's like, well, you filmed mine, so yours needs to be on there somewhere too. So.
But we're going to
really though. Really. That's what she did.
What is she owning to? I'm lost.
I'm guessing the butts.
Oh, Cody, he's nice, but yeah. He's my husband, though. I'm supposed to.
We don't care.
He's supposed to.
Not
Not that I was trying to get it. I literally was just. It's a habit to like when I'm talking to them, instead of holding it here, I like
she
angle it
lowers
down,
it down.
and then you get a button.
And it's just butt.
So again, we leave it up to Brittany and Jeannie.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, we leave it up to Brittany and Jeannie to hold the cameras for us.
Yes.
Unfortunately, those of you who are just now joining us, we are sorry to say that we are actually getting ready to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But again, I'm videoing it on another camera, and it is going to be posted as a part. Now, on that camera, I feel bad because we're always looking at this camera. When you
Yeah.
look at that camera, just know that when you watch it as a podcast, it's because we did it on the phone, and then we did it on the camera. And the camera's going to be the podcast that we upload to our YouTube channel, Ghost Spirits, Legends, and Beyond, later.
Yes.
And it's not going to be edited. Our podcasts are raw as they come.
So all commentary, all bloopers, everything is going to be there.
Whereas the episodes, a lot of stuff does get edited out. Unless it's like super funny. But
So with that being said, we are filming this at my house, and because I do have animals, there might be an occasion where they make themselves present. Because Ragnar is a giant dog who demands attention and doesn't really think he's a giant dog. He thinks he's a little lap dog. So there might be a time where we're in here filming and him just pounce up here.
oh, he does it to me all the time. Like I'll be sitting right here and then bam,
Because
a horse of a dog.
he's like a tiny horse. Because like the room we're in, we're sitting on a futon in here, and this is his futon. He claims it like this is his spot, because Jeannie's computer's over there and mine's over here, and so he gets in between the parents, like a typical child. So yeah, we're sitting in his spot. So if the door was open, he'd be
In the future, just know
be
that there's
pouncing
a
on
good
us.
chance we're going to have a
Yes.
giant horse of a dog. That's just like,
Because
hi. What? Apparently, I said something with a southern accent. We are from the South. just know,
Accent.
anybody watching, yeah. That's also kind of what makes it funny too, is because
We're very, very
there's
southern.
a lot of cemeteries where there's names that I'm like,
A lot of them we can't pronounce, and if when we try, we sort of butcher them, and we don't mean to. Like we're not
trying to
disrespectful or
disrespect
nothing
you,
like that.
or
We
we
just-
say it with an accent. You're like, you are definitely from the South.
Like we definitely can't. Like we try, but we don't sound that.
That Southern drawl.
That's southern to us, but those who are probably watching are like, oh my gosh, like where are they from? Texas, southeast.
Oh, that's by the Gulf of Mexico. So
Yeah, we're pretty cool. We're pretty southern.
but Brittany is too. Like she can pick all she wants, but she is.
Okay, killed my battery.
Oh, speaking of, you got 15%.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up. Thanks for watching Ghost Spirits Legends Beyond, our first official live stream, not live stream, podcast. And we'll be on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Taylor.
And Brittany's in the comments.
Known as Wicked Luna.
Yes. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next live stream, which we will talk about Hill House Manor.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Definitely. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button also so you're notified whenever new content is posted.
And we'll see you.